Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and I am bringing you another charity shop book haul. I found some super good book choices this time at really great prices and I'm super excited to show you what I found. First up we have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I don't have the other two yet, I need to keep an eye out for those, but I was super happy to find the latest release and this cost me 50p. Next up I picked up a couple of books that I just liked the sound of after reading the back of them. So this one is called Weed Flower. It is by Cynthia Kadohata. It says winner of the Newbery Medal. I'm not sure what that is. But this one cost me £1 and I'll just read you the back of the book. This one says, raised on a flower farm in California, 12-year-old Sumiko is used to being the only Japanese girl in her class. Even when the other kids tease her, she always has her flowers and family to go home to. That all changes when Pearl Harbor is bombed by the Japanese. Other Americans start to suspect that all Japanese people are spies for the Emperor, even if, like Sumiko, they were born in the United States. As suspicions grow, Sumiko and her family find themselves being shipped to an internment camp on an Indian reservation. There she meets a young Mojave boy who might just become her first real friend, if he can ever stop being angry about the fact that the internment camp is on his tribe's land. The author's note says this novel is based loosely on the internment of Japanese Americans in the Colorado River Relocation Center during World War II, except for the end note, it is a work of fiction and should be viewed as such. So this is a historical fiction book. I just really found the sound of it. I thought it was really interesting, so I paid £1 for that. I also picked up this book, which I just really like the cover of this. It's got like this gold and black thing going on and it's kind of like a face but also like hills and rivers. I just thought it was cool. And this one's called What's Left of Me Is Yours. This one says, in Japan a covert industry has grown up around the wakaresaseya, a person hired by one spouse to seduce the other to gain the advantage in divorce proceedings. When Sato hires Kitaro, a wakaresaseya agent, to have an affair with his wife, Rina, he assumes it will be an easy case. But Sato has never truly understood Rina's desires, and Kitaro's job is to do exactly that, until he does it too well. I paid £2 for this. It basically sounds like this guy has hired someone to seduce their wife so that they can win in the divorce proceedings favourably, and it sounds like it kind of backfires for him. I just thought that was a really interesting concept. Again, it sounds like something that is based on like fact and historical things that happen in Japan, so I was really intrigued by this. Next up, I found a copy of Beartown. I paid £1 for this. This is by Frederick Backman. I actually had already read it from the library before buying this, but I absolutely love it. I didn't give it a high rating to start with, and then I read the second one and realised how much this book actually made me care about all the characters in this town. So I've pre-ordered the third one, which is currently being translated into English. I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. And I think I'm probably going to reread this, and if I can find Us Against You, I'm hoping to reread them both before I read the new one. And I think it's due out in like October. It's like the back end of this year, but I'm super excited. And I paid £1 for this. Next up, I found a couple of thrillers. The first one is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Really excited to read this. This is one that Katie Colson recommends, and I think a few other people have said that this is really good as well. So I'm pretty sure there's this book and there's another book by Blake Crouch, and they're kind of like sci-fi thrillers. So I'll just read you the back of this one. It says, are you happy in your life? Those are the last words Jason Desson hears before the masked abductor knocks him unconscious. Before he wakes to find himself strapped to a gurney surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits. Before the man he's never met smiles down at him and says, welcome back. In this world he's woken up to, Jason's life is not the one he knows. His wife is not his wife. His son was never born. And Jason is not an ordinary college physics professor. Is it this world or the other that's the dream? The answer lies in a journey more wondrous and horrifying than anything Jason could have imagined. This sounds so good. I'm so excited to read this. I can't remember how much I paid for this. Probably £1 or £2. I also picked up Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, which is also a thriller. This one says, Libby Day was just 7 years old when her evidence put her 15-year-old brother behind bars. Since then she has been drifting, but then she is contacted by a group who are convinced of Ben's innocence. Libby starts to ask questions she never dared to before. Was the voice she heard her brother's? Ben was a misfit in their small town, but was he capable of murder? Are there secrets to uncover at the family farm, or is Libby deluding herself because she wants her brother back? she begins to realise that everyone in her family had something to hide that day, especially Ben. Now, 24 years later, the truth is going to be even harder to find. Who did massacre the Day family? Again, not sure what I paid for this, probably £1 or £2. Next up, I found a hardback copy of Oliver's Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. Unfortunately, the dust jacket is very damaged around the top of this one, which is kind of annoying, but the hardback itself looks like it's in okay condition. So this is a fantasy book. It's about a town where there are 7 families, and they compete, I think every year maybe, in a competition, and it's kind of like a fight to the death. I think they submit a child each who have to take part in this competition, and the winning family gets access to all of the magic for the town. I've heard good and bad things about this. There seems to be mixed feelings about this one, but I'm going to give it a go, and I paid £3.99 for this. Another hardback I found The Last Namsara. This is part of a series. I think this might be the first book, but I'm not entirely sure. There's a torn page there, but I could probably just tape that back up and it should be fine. Oh, I just found something in the book. I've just found these 2 art prints in the back of the book. That's cool. Oh, okay. I did not realise this. It also has a signed bookplate in here. So I have a signed bookplate for that. It's actually a signed copy. Nice. This cost me 50p. So this follows our main character, who is a female protagonist, and she's a dragon slayer. She is destined to marry this general to unite 2 kingdoms, and she doesn't really want to do that, so she's then given the option that if she provides the head of the strongest dragon and slays it, then she can get out of the wedding. We love a strong female warrior protagonist, and yeah, super excited. I've got a couple more fantasy hardbacks that I found. This one is Dark Dawn by J. Christoph. Really good condition, really happy with this. I paid £3.99 for this. I think this is the 3rd in the series, and I don't know if all the hardbacks are like this, but it has this design. I don't know if you can see. There's like there's the cat that goes all the way around. I just thought that was kind of cool. We also picked up The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. Again, I've seen mixed opinions on this one, but recently I've seen a lot more positive thoughts on this from people, so I'm glad I managed to find this. This one cost £2.99. So this is about a character who it is discovered he is like the long lost son of this prince, and he is the centre of some ancient prophecy, and so everyone kind of wants a piece of him. It says there's gods, demons, dragons and mages in this book, and it says he's not destined to be the hero, he is destined to destroy the empire. So this sounds really interesting, and it is part, I think this one's the 1st in the series. Next up, I found a classic. I found Withering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is the Wordsworth classic, and I think I paid 50p for this. I also found Shift by Hugo Howitt. Now, I picked up Wool, which is the 1st in this series, and I thought that was a standalone until I saw this on the shelf, and it just stood out to me because of the design. It matches the other book, but it's a different colour, and so my eye was drawn to it, and I was like, hang on a minute. And I picked it up and it said number 2 on it, and I was like, it's not a standalone. So yes, I now need to find all 3 of these. So this is book 2, this is Shift, and hopefully I can find the 3rd one. I paid £2.50 for this. And then finally, we managed to find some more of the Discworld novels. So we found Thud by Terry Pratchett. I think we paid 50p for this one. We also found Pyramids. I think these are the collector's edition version. We paid £2.50 for this one. And we also found Men at Arms, which was also £2.50. So that's everything I have for you today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. And then finally, we managed to... And then finally, we